While a lumberjack was cutting down a tree, a squirrel fell from the tree. As it tried to escape on the ground, it was run over by a car. The ill-fated squirrel could only drag its injured legs as it crawled along the ground. Clearly, its two hind legs were so badly hurt that it could no longer stand. A woman passing by really wanted to help it. To avoid danger, the squirrel could only hide in the grass by the roadside. To prevent being bitten, the woman used a dry twig to gently drag the squirrel out of the grass and into a safe area, bit by bit. Then, using a tissue as padding, she picked up the squirrel and wrapped it in her own clothes, hurrying to take it to the local animal hospital without delay. The veterinarian first located the fracture in the squirrel's bones, then used a steel pin to set it in place. Throughout the entire process, the squirrel was very cooperative. With the squirrel's bones set, it meant his life was saved. A large cast was placed on the squirrel's hind leg, which made it much harder for him to move around. Fortunately, the woman quietly took on the responsibility of feeding him 3 meals a day. After feeling the woman's care, the little squirrel slowly drifted into a warm sleep. Seeing the little squirrel half asleep and half awake, perhaps still anxious and scared, the woman didn't dare to leave and could only quietly stay by its side. After staying at the woman's home for a while, the little squirrel could only move around by crawling on the ground. Seeing this, the woman felt sorry for it and gently massaged it with her hands, continuously stimulating the squirrel's soles with her fingers. There was only one purpose for doing this. She hoped the squirrel would recover as soon as possible. With the woman's daily training, the squirrel was finally able to stumble and run around her room. Seeing the squirrel fully recovered, the woman happily gave it a sweet kiss. From then on, this little squirrel could be said to be living a comfortable life. She remembered that when the squirrel first arrived at her home, she would worry every day when feeding it, afraid that it might suddenly die. She never expected that now it could once again jump around energetically, playing and frolicking on the lawn with her children. It's likely that this little squirrel never imagined, even in its dreams, that misfortune would turn into a blessing. After meeting its kind-hearted owner, its life seemed to take off. Every day, it could play freely and recklessly around the house, and it also received plenty of fresh toys from its owner. When it got tired of playing, it would indulge itself with food and drink, which caused its weight to skyrocket. As time went by, this little squirrel became an indispensable part of the woman's life. Unconsciously, the squirrel seemed to have become her closest family member. The squirrel grew increasingly dependent on the woman, and she became more and more fond of it as well. But after all, squirrels love nature. After giving it some thought, the woman finally decided to release it back into the wild. The next day, the woman saw the released squirrel clinging to her window again. Feeling sorry for it, she hurried to open the door and let the squirrel in. It seemed that the little squirrel simply couldn't leave this home anymore. There was nothing the woman could do, so she had no choice but to let it stay. Interestingly, this squirrel actually brought its friend to the woman's house as well, and even showed off their affection for each other right in front of her. Since she was already taking care of one, she figured she might as well take care of two, and gladly accepted them both. However, as time went on, the woman noticed that the squirrels often grew sharp teeth, which needed to be trimmed and filed regularly. Each time, the squirrels seemed to thoroughly enjoy the process. And so, the woman and the two squirrels lived their days filled with warmth, laughter, and healing moments through their daily heartwarming interactions.